6 alongside, say, one of these strong early game skirmishes she's talking about, like in the Xinjiao, suddenly that level 6 or even things like the Olaf that we see sometimes, like that just becomes very, very hard to control if you're on the opposition side. So definitely I think these more skirmish but late game scaling champions have so much to do in this meta.
Well, I'm excited to say we are already underway, Dagda, as we're waiting for champions. Here we are, LGD on the blue side. We got RA on the red. Rek'Sai, Caitlyn, and Corki banned away by LGD. Zeri, as well as Renekton, the good old Crocodilian boy, banned away by RA. We'll see what their final ban is going to be. I would expect at least maybe the Zin's out, maybe a little bit of jungle priority, but it is a missed ban, actually, it looks like.
Yeah, not sure. May actually have gone through, but could be a bug. We'll have to wait and see exactly what the story is. But looking, if that's not a Thresh ban, obviously have opportunity for a Thresh pickup here. Like, opens up for the Aphelios, opens up for the Jinx as well, and you kind of just get to pick whatever side of the equation that you want on that. With the theory being that Rare Adam aren't going to take away the one, whatever one, but it's actually going to be the Jinx instead. So, if I'm Rare Adam, potentially to look towards like a Jinx or a Thresh Aphelios if you want to, but they're just going to take the Aphelios with the Xinjiao. It does feel like now for Xinjiao though, you can just go towards the Thresh and take a jungler for yourself here on LGD's side.
Yeah, very interesting way for it to pan out here. You know, we were talking about, will we see that much jungle influence in the picks and bans? We did see the Rek'Sai obviously have to ban that one against Leyen, but here we are going into the final parts of the first phase, and we're still waiting for Shadow to pick up his jungle as it's Rise and Nautilus picked up for LGD.
It's actually become really interesting to see how the meta has kind of shifted in the jungle role. Like, we started to see a huge amount of priority onto these like early jungle picks at the start of the year, but instead now we're starting to move over to where people like Shadow, who've got a ton of picks in the back pocket, are like, look, I'm totally fine. Like, I've still got things like the Viego, Jarvan, Olaf, Lee Sin is still up and available. And even then, if that starts to fail, right, we've seen Volibear start to come through as an answer for the Xinjiao as well. So you have a ton of stuff that you can work with. Orianna, though, picked up for Rare Adam in that mid lane. So Strive going to get himself a nice matchup there. Going to be able to take the Summon Airy, push Jay in these early stages, and make sure that they're setting themselves up nicely for that kind of strong mid jungle that we actually kind of highlighted coming into draft, that this is something teams have started to play quite heavily around.
And I'm loving this draft so far for both sides because both teams are kind of picking away comfort picks from each other, right? You've got the Jinx taken away from iBoy. He has 9 games played on that one. The Xin Zhao taken away from Shadow. You got the Orianna taken away as well from the side of LGD, as Jay will be in the mid lane this time around. And it's so exciting because the second phase means that much more. And as we get into that second phase of bans, we get the Hecarim ban, which has been rising in priority for RA, and Gwen, the busted champion, being banned away by LGD.
Hey, so the Camille banned away here as well. So I'm curious what the plan is here for Rare on the top lane. Could be looking for something like a Kennen or a Jace in that top side for Cube. Still, a lot of teams eyeing up that Graves blind pick. I've started to become less and less of a fan of it because a lot of times we see this Rise locked in on the opposite side before you manage to go for that Graves blind pick. And so many teams have been totally fine going towards a Tryndamere, and Rare Adam may find themselves in that same situation. That Graves was hovered for a second. Rare Adam realized, look, let's just take the counter pick matchup in the support role, keep ourselves in towards the... No, okay.
Nope.
I was going to say keep your counter pick for top, but that's not what they want to do here. That may not have been the best idea. I wasn't even sure if Cube was just setting up for an Orm pick, honestly, with the Camille plan and Gwen taking off the board. But yeah, I mean, always the option here for LGD to go towards Tryndamere if you want to, like play fully through those side lanes and not even go towards a team fight. We've even seen the Nara start to come out as a blind or as a pick in towards this Graves as well, but not going to be the case. Instead, we're going to look towards that Kennen for fairness in the top lane, and now you got to figure out what the jungle is for Shadow. A lot of engage already here, so you kind of have your pick of the litter here for Shadow. There's no like, oh, we need something from this team. You can just go towards something you feel comfortable playing into Xin Zhao, which in this case is that Lee Sin.
Yep, there you go. The aggression, the name of the game here for both junglers, and they get beautiful tools to do just that. We do have LGD's composition rounded out here. It's a lot of team fight potential there on that side, where you did have, you know, Graves as a split pushing pressure, but on RA's side themselves, they're no slouches when it comes to team fights. So I'm expecting a pretty big bloodbath once we get to the objectives.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams are all about the 5v5, right? Like,
Yep.
huge amount of team fight on both sides. AoE, CC on both ends. You've got great late game AD carries, strong mid-range pressure in the team fights will thrive as well in this Orianna. The only thing I will say is that, like, for Rare Adam, you're kind of a little bit shorter range than LGD, so certainly trying to start off these fights nice and early is going to be your best bet. But I really like the Kennen pick into these sort of short range compositions, because oftentimes they have to overextend to try and find the fight and find the engage. So you end up having a little bit of an easier time as the Kennen on getting into the fights, or at least getting onto the key targets. So Fearness, if he has his flash up for these fights, can really be a game changer here for LGD in a lot of these skirmishes.
Absolutely. But again, I want to reiterate, the name of the game right now for this early game is Shadow versus Lan. Who gets the snowball going? Both these junglers, as we have said before, die and live by the sword. And can they bring that to bear in this game? Can they transition that typically beautiful early game that they can find into actual late game victories? Can they bring it all together when it really matters is the biggest question, because both these teams sitting at 1-5, they need to cement themselves in this season. They need to find a pick-me-up and get themselves onto a high horse, as we have LGD taking on Rare Adam in our first game of the night.
And here we go. Rare Adam versus LGD. Not the top of the table clashes that we saw yesterday, but still two teams with a lot to prove, especially when you're playing against kind of teams at your own level on the standings. You want to make sure that you're able to get these wins nice and early. Both teams fanning out in the early stages. No pesky shenanigans coming through thus far, but I still expect to see, like, on the inside, trying to play through this top half of the map is probably going to be your best bet, right? Like, Strive, that level 6 is going to be really potent for early skirmishes when you get the access to the ultimate. And then you look towards this top half of the map as well for Cube. Fearness, because you've got the AP damage and also outrange the Graves. In a lot of situations you can't do well until Graves gets on your face.
Oh,
like right now.
Cube. You have fallen to the early aggression. He is not going to actually burn the flash. I thought maybe that early aggression from LGD would get the flash out of Cube, but he's too calm, cool, and collected, Dagda. He ain't falling for that one.
Yeah, even opted in for the longsword triple pot, so he should be able to heal not too shabbily, especially when you look towards the fleet footwork as well. The Graves is always run, should be all right. Shadow actually taking the Sonic Wave early, though, means that his clears be a little bit less healthy, so especially if he ends up running into Lien, that could be a bit of an issue. Like, Lee Sin's prefer to start the safeguard / iron will, because you're able to, like, shield yourself up, get a lot of health back. But with the early smite coming through onto the blue camp, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
So, Dagda, I highlighted the jungle matchup, right? Lien, Shadow, very important. We were talking about the main carries in Strive as well as Eric for their opposing team. But something else interesting here is Jay versus Strive, and especially because Jay is on the rise, he will be integral to meeting up with Shadow, getting the team to the right place at the right time with those realm warps. So I've got even more of a keen eye for Jay's time on the Rift here.
Yeah, the biggest problem, though, is that in this matchup, it just sucks for Rise.
It does.
Like, you end up getting outranged by the Orianna so easily. Like, that command attack basically just sits in front of you like a constant thorn in your side, where you just quickly move it over, get that summon Airy proc. It's only like 30 mana as well. Like, when you look at the whole kit for Orianna, as long as you're not using the command dissonance, you don't really run out of mana too much to say that.
As I was gonna say,
already struggling with mana. But yeah, you're just able to keep that kind of at bay and keep Jay just at arm's length, so we can never really trade back effectively. But we talked about Liam trying to make these plays happen on the top side. Fearness already low thanks to Cube's pressure, and we may be looking at a dive here. Ori, though, no man in the mid, same with Jay.
Yeah, and Lan spotted out early by that ward. Fearness will get away from it, so no dive completed on the top side here, even though Fearness is definitely feeling the hurt. Still able to maintain some strength up there. As I do want to check in on the jungles, right? There was no early invading from either of these two. I know I love seeing Shadow go for those crazy level 3 invades, but both junglers going for opposite side pathings this time around and playing a little bit of the slow game.
Yeah, and I mean, look, they're both just going to finish their full clear and then move in, right? So I think nice job from Shadow to try and desync from Leon as well, because one of the things you don't want to do as a Lee Sin is run into Xin Zhao early. Xin Zhao's trading is just so insane, and I mean, you just end up blowing like early wards for safeguards and stuff. And I know that doesn't sound like a huge amount, but it's actually really important for your early ganking as Lee Sin. Strive takes a good amount of damage from Jay, so Strive actually struggling, honestly, in this lane matchup.
Jin Zhao is here as well. Strive on the backside of the tower. Jin Zhao does get the stun. The flash comes out. Do they have enough first blood today?
I mean, gorgeous job from LGD. Jay's been playing this matchup insanely well. And the fact that he's managed to, like, win out in the counter matchup, now has Jin Zhao coming up as well. I mean, that was just brilliant from LGD.
That was absolutely incredible. The timing from Jin Zhao as well. Like, it's working out early, at least for first blood. We'll get a replay of that one, and Strive just couldn't catch a break here.
No, I mean, nice roam from Jin Zhao here. Manages to pick off Strive, and just really good timing on the reset, right? Like, you can see that Eric had gone back towards the base, so you're able to find that little bit of time to go for it. Now, you get the resets from Jin Zhao once more, and Strive flash this now. This could be a good setup if LGD want to try and make a repeat performance here in the mid lane, especially if Shadow hits that level 6.
Indeed, Jin Zhao is going to run into Yanja down here, but the Dragon already started up by RA. Will be the first neutral objective secured. Shadow and the rest of LGD are coming down this way. Dragon already gone. Here comes Eric from the bottom side. Sonic Wave does connect, and Shadow goes in. He immediately decides to take the Ward Hop out.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to be a little bit of a nuisance there. Boy, though, we managed to get back to this bot side to pick up the big wave. I was kind of surprised that LGD were even looking for that play. Honestly, like, you're kind of far behind when I look in the grand scheme of things, right? Eric went for that quicker reset, but it means that he hasn't actually managed to pick up a Noon Quiver for himself. He's got 2 long swords at a pull compared to the full Noon Quiver of Boy, and just the Aphelios advantage in this matchup in early skirmishes. You've also got like Leon and Strive, who are pretty damn strong right now compared to Shadow and Jay. So I don't know if I really want to see these early engagements from LGD, but it's actually Leon trying to punish the fact that Jay has no flash.
Yeah, Strive is just like, please help me. I need something here. And here comes the aid. The 3-talent strike. It's
What?
not fast enough. Jay gets out.
That was just by the skin of his teeth. One more auto and Jay would have been knocked up, but not quite able to find it. And that was so much invested from Rare Adam into that play. Brilliant drop from Jay, as Shadow now answering the
Collateral damage immediately used. Cube needs to separate here. Shadow doesn't have the Dragon Rage kick, and Cube gets out yet again in the top side game.
Yeah, Cube had flash, so not able to close the distance there by Fairness. Now, though, looking again on the spot side. Jay has TP back into the mid lane and was leaning towards that bot side. So with that, Rare Adam decided to back away. But, I mean, look, Rare Adam, they are trying to make plays happen on the map. They're just not quite able to stick thus far.
Not thus far, but hey, any attempt is better than no attempt. And I want to check in really quickly because Leon has been doing a pretty good job in the hard farming department, but would like to see if we get that next gank coming out here soon. But as we are right now, Leon perfectly fine farming it up, waiting for these carries to get where they feel comfortable at. And I guess the ball is really in Shadow's court now on the Lee Sin, where you've seen a lot of that pathing come out for him in an aggressive style.
Yeah, it's the reason Leon has the bigger farm advantage. Yes, you are seeing like Shadow kind of stick around his lanes a little bit more, but I mean, you're just so much quicker at clearing your jungle compared to Shadow. Like, it means that it's really tough for Shadow to try and keep pace. So oftentimes you will see Lee Sins just try to like hard focus lanes in the early stages because you don't have like the greatest late game scaling. Like, if you get super far ahead, you can be a menace in fights, but realistically you become that kind of CC bot in the later part of the game. And often times the scaling that Lee Sin has is completely like one-to-one with the player's skill on Lee Sin, right? Like, if you're absolutely insane at getting these Dragon Rage kicks off, the insect plays off, you will scale phenomenally, but you'll have to see if you're able to do it. In Shadow, a good Lee Sin, one of the best Lee Sins in the LEC while he was there.
And I just want to check it. We have Rip Herald on the board here. Want to see if that aggression plays into another neutral objective take. A Shadow already hovering up this way. But guess who's here first? It's the bot lane for Rare Adam as the roams are coming out, because it looks like we're going to get a 5v5. Dagda, I cannot wait.
I don't want to see it though.
I
If
want
I'm
it. I
LGD,
want it. I want
you
it.
gotta walk away. They are gonna walk away. I don't think you even rotate Eric and Jinjo up in this situation. Honestly, I think you leave them off, but you might get your witch.
See, my favorite thing is every time the color cat's like, oh, they're not gonna go for that. They shouldn't do that, right? And then you see everybody moving forward. You're like, yes. Ooh, the shockwave into the moonlight. It's a wombo combo. You blink and you'll miss it. Cube gets the kill.
And sometimes color casts away. Sometimes we know what we're talking about, you know?
Say, a lot of the
we
times you know what you're talking about.
If you look at the situation, you've got Strive, who's got that great shockwave there. You're walking it completely blind, Leanne. So let's do a run down the list, right? We'll take the top laners out of the equation because oftentimes you gotta like completely wrap around to make these plays happen, and Fearness and Cube weren't really in a position to follow up on that play. But Leanne, stronger than Shadow right now in skirmishes. Strive, stronger than Jay in skirmishes. iBoy, stronger in skirmishes. Yanja, stronger in skirmishes. Like, the checklist, why are you opting into this play? Like, it's such a bad idea. And all you have to do is literally do this, right? Leave Eric on the bot side. You trade plates. You go for the counter play. And especially when Jay has the realm warp as well, right? Like, if you try and like push in mid, play down towards this bot side, it becomes really difficult for Rare Adam to try and defend in the bot lane play. Instead, you see walking in blind here,
that trigger pull
just sets up perfectly, and there's so much damage. You see Jinjo like just gone, deleted with the 1-2 punch from Strive and iBoy.
Yeah, the solar flare on top of it too, adding a little bit more flair, if you will, to it all. But that combo is so ridiculous. And for me, it was that trigger pull, right? I said it in the replay, but like seeing that instantly come out, Strive is like, we going, we killing them right now. And that's the kind of execution you're gonna need with this composition. As we do see Leanne back towards this bottom side. Dragon is spawned, but you have bot lane pushing, so they might go for a bot lane gank instead.
It looks like LGD are aware, but I want to go back to like Strive. Like, this is why we highlighted Strive at the start of the day, right? Like, this guy is so good when it comes towards setting up these plays. Might need to once more as LGD
Gonna be flipping. Here comes LGD. They're coming in for the fight, and already down is Leanne. Dragon for LGD.
A nice job from LGD to realize they had pushed bots, so their bot lane can react. iBoy was stuck underneath this tower trying to clear with the Infernum, so not able to come across. So LGD find the pick. Fearness TPing in though means that they want to put more pressure on towards this bottom side. And right now, again, like, yes, you got the Rift Herald going over towards Rare Adam, but already 3 plates for Eric in the spot lane. He has the cull as well. So when it looks like it's an even advantage with the CS numbers and the assists, that balloons into the gold matters.
The prison into the shockwave, but beautiful shockwave back to it. Oh, nicely done. Eric gets out on the bot side with a nicely timed cleanse and ganks everywhere right now.
Take a bow Strive. That was nasty.
Beautiful.
Just able to connect on the edge of both with Shadow as well. Stops any sort of play from happening. Now though, top side. With Fearness TPing into that Dragon play, Cube got some damage on the turret. Leanne has a Rift Herald.
The Maelstrom is available, but Leanne walks right into Fearness around the corner. Oh no, Fearness pops the Maelstrom. That's the button you needed to save there as the tower goes down to the Rift Herald. Fearness stays alive. All they wanted was the gold. Oh, cheeky little backstop from Eric from downtown in the wave.
That's actually pretty big stopping him, because now you're going to see Eric get back into lane. He can push it in and might be able to get another terror or two. I'd love to see LGD actually try and make a play onto this bot side off of the fact that you're going to have that slower reset from iBoy. These things never look big, but you're playing so much off of these tempo advantages at the higher level that, you know, Eric can now shove in, maybe get a turret plate, but it looks like LGD aren't really in a position to support him, and Rare Adam are on their way down, so Eric's got to give it up. I mean, nice job from Eric, but kind of disjointed from LGD to try and follow up on it.
A little bit. I will say that both teams definitely at least adhering to their win conditions to some extent. You know, Eric, that late game carry, the damage potential is getting very strong with all the gold he's gotten from the plates, but as well on the other side, you know, they're putting a lot of attention around Strive, but Strive has been able to brush it off every time. We'll see if I cast a curse him here though. As Dragon Rage kick comes in, depth charge as well. You got everything used on you, and you're dead this time, Strive. Realm Warp out. Can they do it? And they do succeed.
Nicely done by LGD. I've been actually really impressed with Jinjo this game. His roams have been super strong, and especially when he's moved across from the AD carry position. He didn't have the best of times in the support role, but really starting to find his groove now in this on this Nautilus. Yanja now doesn't realize Shadow's in the wings.
That Shadow's all down. This is 3v2, but actually Jin Zhao who goes away from it because Eric has the minion wave under the tower. Nothing coming of it just yet.
I'm still waiting to see these fights really kick off, though. Like, it's been a bit of a slower pace one comparatively to what we see to LGD and Rare Adam as per usual. But here you go. You can see Shadow, nice flash there. Manages to set up beautifully for Jin Zhao, sending Drive right between the sticks. Back into the jungle towards the Nautilus, and they just pop on out with the Realm Warp. Beautifully orchestrated there from LGD.
That dredge line around the corner is so nasty. I do want to check in on Cube up here, who has just been constantly pressuring Fearness, and this Graves in the side lane gonna get more terrifying as the game goes on. Yes, Fearness will have the crazy flanks potentials as we do, you know, have the Maelstrom available. But it's really all eyes on Cube on getting the side lane going and being a strong Graves, right? He's got the whole breaker completed, and this side lane pressure will be something to deal with.
Yeah, it feels like you're going to have the 1-4 from Rare Adam answered by Jay, right? And the fact that Jay has 3 kills is going to make that a hell of a lot easier. It just means that Cube won't really find an impact in the side lane because Jay is just going to be able to clear it the way before Cube can really do anything. So I'm honestly kind of surprised to see the whole breaker option here from Cube. I would have preferred to see him go towards the more standard build because realistically side lanes aren't going to be your win conditions. It is going to be these big team fights, and for LGD side of things, they're more adhering to that, right? Eric now fed as all hell, and Cole pop, first tower going his way as well. Like, it now really does feel like, at least on the LGD side, you're really ramping up for these fights, especially when you start to look towards, you know, the Hextech Rocket Belt just finished for Fearness, 20 seconds on towards this Dragon. They have control over River, but Rare Adam look like they're just going to give up that control and look for towers instead.
Shadow showing up in the mid lane as the Rift Herald goes down to land towards the top side. Do want to highlight the lane setup right now for RA, as we do have Strive in the top side. No TP available just yet. They have no Q. The bottom side, we're getting all LGD's forces in this mid lane, getting prepped for this Dragon potentially. We got pings coming down that way.
And there goes the Rift Herald. They see Rare Adam trying to call out LGD, get them out of their hidey hole on the Dragon, but Rare Adam are just going to take this mid lane turret. LGD not really responding. You still see Jinx on the Dragon with Shadow.
Down there in the mid lane, though. That's Maelstrom popped. Is the burn going to be enough? Fearness, he dies. Beautifully done from Yanja, and here comes the snowball as another Rift Herald charge goes up. A second tier tower in the mid lane falls, and RA are thriving right now.
And this is exactly what we said for LGD. Get a nice start to the early game. Jay's on 3 kills, Eric's starting to snowball, things are looking good, and then they fumble the mid-game map plays. Over-committing towards the Dragon, not respecting Rare Adam, and suddenly that's 2 towers gone in the mid lane. You've already lost your tower in the top side as well, and now it becomes a hell of a lot easier when you look towards Rare Adam to get vision control up over the Baron, right? Like, you can already see that they have a ton of vision control established on that top side of the map, and when you're looking at, you know, team fighting teams, the ability for Rare Adam to like find picks like this, it's really difficult for LGD to contest it because you honestly don't really have a tank on LGD side, right? You have great team fighting because the CC that Fearness brings, but if Fearness is the one getting popped instantly, that's not the way that things are going to go well for you, especially if Fearness needs to try and find these flanks with his flash down.
The tank when you've got the tanky Rise build deck. That's the thinking here. But it was just good. I guess I'm always a fan of striking when the iron is hot, right? And RA definitely did that with that mid lane push. The fact they got 3 charges off on the Rift Herald in the middle of all that chaos and kind of throwing LGD onto the back foot, you could see they were reeling from that. And now the biggest question is, how do LGD find a little bit of stability here as they feel like they're slowly losing that control of the map?
Yeah, and this is really nice from Rare Adam to kind of make sure that they're losing that control, right? Like, Yanja and Leon moving in here with iBoy. LGD can't really contest because Drive had started to hover out of vision, so the potential for multiple members of Rare Adam to be there. Now, looking for picks onto Jin Zhao, but I don't think they really want to go for that. A lot of members of LGD are here.
Shadow will cross over the tri-bush. Didn't realize that the rest of the bodies are there. He's just going for the play onto Strive. They are committing full bodies here. Maelstrom is not going to get the stun onto Strive. And on the backside, you actually have Leyen who engaged. This is so split. The Moonlight Vigil comes across. Both junglers are in some trouble here, and they both die. Realm Warp comes in. Jin Zhao has the flash immediately. Cube goes under tower against Fearness. And LGD have finally brought Eric to the fight. He's excited now. Yuyanja getting some rockets to the back. But iBoy still strong in his own right as we come away from it with a 2-for-2.
That was so messy. Jay's still looking. He doesn't want to give up on this as LGD eventually back away.
I feel like a chameleon.
Messy fights. I mean, especially Shadow, I think that was a bit of an overcommit there. Like, you don't have vision in your own bot side jungle, and trying to make that quick pick onto Strive. Like, yes, Oriannas are very vulnerable in these side lanes, but you can see there Rare Adam in a position to just react. Strive manages to flash away, so he stays alive for so long. Actually managed to escape away at the end of this fight completely, but you've got Leon going too aggressive as LGD show up. But Strive is enabling this bot side of the fight so much with Cube and Yuyanja. Then, honestly, from Cube ends up overextending here as well, right? You can just turn back for Jin Zhao and you walk away, but instead ends up trading 1-for-1. Jin Zhao is now going to stop watch because he's overextended, but he manages to escape. It's all just a ton of overextending. The big winner, though, is going to be Jay in this mid lane.
Absolutely.
5-0 on this rise. 8 stacks on that Dark Steel as well. Jay is going to be huge if he can get access to the key members in these team fights as Fearness.
All the collateral damage is available, did get used, but mid lane we got a fight going. Yuyanja in some trouble, does not have the health to survive, and Shadow gets the kill.
Yuyanja started that.
Yep.
Yuyanja was the one who was like, hang on, gung-ho, we got this, boys, but no. Rare Adam all dip away as LGD show up, and now LGD are on the assault.
A nice turn of the tables. Mid lane outer will fall. You have Cube getting the outer tower in the bottom side, but tier 2 in the mid lane looks like it's going to fall to LGD as well. Just trading mid lanes, no big deal, right, Dag?
I mean, look, there's a reason these teams are where they are in the tables. It's not clean League of Legends.
Oh, no.
It's not the best.
Can I just say,
But
though,
is it enjoyable? My word, it is.
Yes.
This is just a mess.
I'm having a blast. I feel like I've unlocked chameleon vision after that last fight. I can look at 2 different things at once. It's going to be great. Jay is so, I know you've already highlighted a little bit, but man, this guy, for coming into the LPL again, you know, once again, and being able to show up with a 5-0 performance against Strive, who we've been lauding this entire pregame show. Game's not over yet, but a 5-0 start, not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, I will just say from Jay as well, the fact that he was in a counter matchup and was still winning out in this mid lane is actually really, really impressive. And as you say, look, Strive isn't exactly the strongest of laners. He's more like outside of lane work is what makes him thrive, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that Jay kind of dominated that mid lane speaks volumes.
Ooh, catch out on the Yuyanja. Depth chart used as well. Realm Warp was just a bait. Yuyanja flashes over the wall, but he is straight to his doom as he will buy time. Will not be enough, though. He's using everything, buying so much time. Shadow finally kills him. The Moonlight Vigil came out. Bot lane, we have a 1v1 going in favor of Cube right now, and LGD need to find a response on the other side.
Yeah, LGD now can set up on this top side, get the tower if they want. Fearness dodging away from the collateral damage. This is why I want to see Jay be the person who's in these side lanes, because Fearness can't handle Cube.
He can't do anything about it. Cube is literally just taking the tower under him. Like, Cube is trying to eat. It's fine. Fearness can't do anything about it. He's just eating his dinner. Like,
yeah, this is this ain't working out so for Cube on the, or sorry, for Fearness on the sides. This is like, so Jay, look at his build, right? This guy is tanky. This guy has now got the armor. Like, stick him against Fearness. Jay has TP. He has the Realm Warp. He's able to clear out waves before Cube can even touch the tower. Like, Fearness really struggles to clear out waves as a Kennen, right? He has to, like, launch himself into the thick of things, and then he's just like, oh, excuse me, great. I'm now in your auto attack. My bad. Like, it's just not a good idea. So, I want to see Jay off in the side lane, matching Fearness. And as well, the beauty of having Fearness with the rest of LGD, is that at a moment's notice you can go in with the Maelstrom, right? Like, you've got the flash, you can look for picks, you can set up team fights really well, and also he's just really good at like peel for Eric, right? Like when you're going for these kind of skirmishes and little plays, you can keep Eric safe.
They're going in here though. Jay is now here though. Jay is scary. He's got 10 pages in the BM book. Make it 12 as Eric gets the kill there. It's still going as well. RA just caught in the chaos. LGD come out on top with 2 kills.
Yuyanja flinging himself to his death twice now. LGD in a position to keep up with him. Tries to set up, but Rare Adam, we talked about that range. They just don't have the range to follow up on everything Yuyanja's setting up. Now they're on the Baron. Cube is coming through. Fearless waiting in the wings.
He has the flank here with the Maelstrom available. He has the flash. He's looking to go over, but Cube's going to find him out early. Jay flashes in, misses the Everfrost. The Maelstrom comes out. The Shockwave in return, but Strive still dies. Cube, you might be strong. You might have Hullbreaker, but that's 5 members on your back, and you're dead.
And once more, LGD find two more picks onto both the solo laners, and now they turn back towards the objective. Leon won't be able to get here in time, it looks like, although Shadow taken extremely low. This might actually buy time for Leon to get here. Is it the 50-50?
Okay, there we go. Flank comes through, easily secured, right? LGD secure the Baron, though, for themselves, and RA themselves reeling after that objective take and the fight lost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm just contesting this, right? Like, Strive is in base. They don't know where LGD's 4 members are, and Leon just like, hey, look, I gotta go, which is never really the case. And it means that Leon tries to help save him, and he ends up getting caught. Nice hook into kick combo from Jinjiao and Shadow. And LGD, just like that, like, have full control now of this game. We talked about the, both teams wanting to look for those 5v5s. Rare Adam just haven't played towards that, right? Cube going with the Hullbreaker. iBoy hasn't got any major advantages. Strive is sitting at 0-3. Does have 2 items, so can do decent damage, but when you're looking at the 3 items already completed for Jay, the 18 stack Magi's as well for Jay, you got to start looking going, hang on a second, lads, what's going on here? And I know Lyric is going to be shouting somewhere for Jay. I know that he was super excited because he came back in on Beach back in the day and had like terrible split, and then like towards the end of it just popped the absolute hell off, was like solo killing Rookie and everything at one point. So the fact that Jay starts to look like he's back is gonna have a couple of folks very happy.
Yeah, and the fact, all I'm thinking is Porque no los dos, because I see the tank items as well as the 18 stack match item. Like, yeah, you do you, Jay, you're doing just fine. But it's that 3 item spike I want to go back to, right? They are so oppressive right now. You can see RA just really can't do anything about it.
Sorry, I 100% agree with you. But Lyric has just messaged me going,
oh,
I told you Jay was correct.
I told
and that
you.
hasn't even got out on stream yet. We're just so insane.
I mean, the guy is popping up. As you said, in a counter matchup, he was still finding advantages. This is an impressive first game from Jay of the split.
Yeah. And I'm happy to see him get going, right? Like, I love seeing all these, like, new talents, right? Like, Drive hasn't had the best times this game, but he's looking good. IG, a whole bunch of rookies that are popping the hell off. Jay now coming in. Not quite a rookie, because obviously he had that split on Week5, but he's still looking absolutely insane here. So I'm more than happy to see more of this new talent coming in and really threatening the top dogs that we've had in the LPL for so long.
Gotta love some shakeups. Jay shaking things up in the mid lane. Does get the inhib tower. Just slowly whittling away as we have about 25 seconds for the Baron buff on LGD. They're going to try to push one last time on this bottom side. Get this inhib tower, but the solar flare comes out. RA don't pull the trigger on the engage after it.
I've got to back away. I mean, mid tower gone down, inhibitor exposed now. Dragon is up and available, so LGD will just back away and pick up that objective for themselves. Baron buff just running out, but you can see a plus 3,000 Baron play there when it comes towards the gold. I don't know what you do as RA, right? Like, your wave clear is pretty alright, but the range advantage that you have in LGD makes it really difficult to kind of stop the onslaught. You can very quickly poke with the rapid fire cannon as well, just take 3 shots to the turret, you can that down. So all in all, Rare Adam, you had your time in the sun, but very quickly becoming dark on your side of the map.
The night is closing in, if you will. It's still, about that team fight potential that they have. We said drafting into them, right? You have Cube as that split push, or maybe the 4-1 composition coming out, but it was combining that wombo combo we saw early on. That's what I want to see, because we saw them obliterate LGD early on. They were the ones with the 3,000 gold lead. And now, as we said earlier, the tables have definitely.
So what I want to see now for LGD is getting in towards this top side, right? I want to see them establish vision control here, because the last turret that they really need to worry about is this top side. This means that then Jay can like push in the top wave while they threat this inhibitor. And so what they need to do is, as you can see, like shove mid, establish vision control top side, and then they should be able to shove in mid and then meet with Jay on this top side. If they're just going to wander across like this though, it means that it gives the Rare Atom the opportunity to try and defend as a unit, but looks like they've just about managed to keep Rare Atom at bay, and there's that top tower going.
Third item is completed for iBoy now, so the Aphelios put some damage of his own with that collector completed. Meanwhile, Cube making something happen on the bot side. Oh no, he was making something happen, but he immediately got answered to. And here's what you wanted to see earlier: Jay responding to Cube. Cube, he's too tanky, man. You thought you were fine against Fearness, but now you've got to deal with the Rise himself. Oh my God, it's all over the place. They actually don't get okay. I don't even like. There's wet noodle fights with tanks. I don't know what that is, Dagda. Like, it's damage, but they just don't die.
I don't know what Jay ulted. All he did was move Fearness further away, so Fearness couldn't help him. That was so unfortunate.
It's, you know, you can't always win everything, okay, Dagda? Oh my goodness. I seriously, that was such an interesting, like both of them were doing so much damage to each other, but the health bars are like 3k plus, so it didn't matter.
I mean, it's just so silly, right? Like the lifesteal between both the Immortal Shield Bow, the Bloodthirster, the shield that Immortal Shield Bow gives you, the extra armor, as you say, a magic resist to get off Hull Breaker. You're not getting through Graves anytime soon. Jay unfortunately just doesn't have the same sort of Omni Vamp in his kit, so means the Graves is able to kind of win that one out eventually. But
Gargoyle still play now though. Yeah. You're full build now for Jay, which is actually incredible. 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes in. Kind of nuts.
But this is where I need to see LGD utilize Jay, right? He's still at 100% KP. They've been utilizing him pretty well, but he is the win condition here. Eric, we said at the beginning, you know, big damage dealer for the team, is still on this Jinx, is still really strong, but they've been utilizing Jay to be that win condition for them so far, at least.
Yeah, the problem was though, because Jay TP'd down to the bot side, you lost full control of this top side, and that was
again! He goes straight in, but that might have been a little overzealous. That Crescent Guard is getting so much benefit. Eric fires off the Mega Death Rocket, land about half health. They want to go for this. The AoE is there, but bot lane, you've got to be careful. You have to make something happen. LGD goes straight in, and they've already found Yanja, but he doesn't die. Leanne is there, and Cube is on the back. He's going to end the game here if they don't do anything, but the fight's still continuing. LGD come out on top. Strive, the only one surviving in the team fight, as well as Q pushing in the bottom side. It is not going to be LGD backing. They have not started the back yet. They just want to go for the end of the game. I don't know. I guess so, Dagda, because Cube is going to get Maelstrom'd on. He's getting in trouble here. He's getting in some deep stuff as Fearness flashes away. Oh my God, we're actually going to have a base race here, Dagda. It is so close, but LGD, they want to finish it up. Okay, TP coming in from Q, but now the TP as well from Fearness. They want to end the game off the back of it. Q needs to go back and heal a little bit. Strive goes gold. It buys a lot of time, but it's not enough time. There's never enough time. LGD take a smashing game number 1.
What just happened? How did we go here? How did this go from, hey, we're having a quick scrap over the Baron, and you know, Cube has done a good job of getting bot lane inhibitor, to the game's over? I don't know what just happened.
Welcome to the LPL.
God,
I'm not on camera.
So
I'm not on camera, but I did the imagination thing for SpongeBob just for you, Dagda. Yeah, honestly, as a player, I'm just yelling at stuff happening, and then the game ended. So I don't know anymore. The fact that Cube was close to having a base race, but then got called back from his team, and then it didn't matter anyways. This is the chaos that the LPL brings us, and this is why we love it.
I mean, yeah, but like there was a couple things that I was trying to like going through my head, right? Like as we got to the end here, with JTPing into the bot side, right? It meant that you actually gave up a ton of vision control that had already been established by LGD in that top side. I was like, you know what? This is great for Rare Adam. You have a composition that really wants LGD to walk into you. You're playing Fog of War, and then you're going to be able to draw them in. And then instead of actually playing to that Fog of War, like we saw in that like early fight where Strive got that big shockwave onto Jinzhou and Shadow, Lian just gung-hos into them, just fires himself into the mix, and it means that, you know, the range advantage that LGD are to play at then comes into play once more. They're able to win that fight. Cube, I appreciate the effort, like nearly being able to end the game, but I don't